was good. It's a weighty topic or just a big topic.
It is to try to, like, explain everything that you want to come forth and, like, convey excitement, but it's a tough process. It's it's difficult, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it's easier when you're going through the course because it's chunked up
Correct. Yes.
into sections and activations, and, like, to push it all forth as once as an overview can seem like a lot.
Correct. Yeah, that balance that you just said between the excitement and like, "Ooh, it's a lot," is extremely difficult because it's an ongoing journey and you do need those activations, those questions throughout to almost as, like, motivation to wanna keep going because you're like, "Oh, no, like, this is this is so much." Even though we try to be encouraging and say, like, "Trust the Lord," like, we're human. It still has that, like, hold on us. We're just like, "Oh, no, this is, really overwhelming." I could tell you presented it so well, and while I'm listening to you, I'm thinking through, like, "Man, Lord, you're talking to me, you're teaching me," especially that 1% change aspect, because as you were speaking, you had such excitement in your presentation. I could still feel that internal wrestling I had of like, I still got a long ways to go. It's a little inch in that could kind of thing.
It's different when you prepare to teach something. You really like, I've been in this for, like, a week now and
Yeah.
processing it with God for a week, and, like he brought up, I'm putting circumstances over and that was that was not, like, I didn't get that word and was like, "Yay!" I was kinda like, "Oh, yeah." But once you have time to process it, you know the freedom attached to it, and so that's where the excitement comes from. So we're
Mhm.
delivering a message that you haven't fully been able to experience yourself. So if you're
Mm.
feeling or you felt resistance while listening to this week's podcast, we understand it because we feel that resistance when sometimes God down gives us a download
Oh,
that
that's
we don't
so
fully
good.
comprehend yet.
That freedom part, you haven't experienced the freedom yet, so you're feeling that. That's a great way to present that. As you own your own journey and you continue to get more familiar with the Father's voice for you or Holy Spirit, like you said, like you feel like Holy Spirit's like making fun of you.
Yeah, who's
And
the victim?
yeah, but I love that. Like they know how we take things. They know what we're sensitive to. So like absolutely it's gonna sound different for each person. And something that I just started a couple weeks ago is going back to the episode I mentioned that mine aren't so much lies as much as I constantly have conversations in my head to where I'm like, Hope, this either already happened, it hasn't happened yet, what are you doing? And so the way I catch and challenge is I straight up just say, and this is so strange, but I say like I'm not eating that frog because you know like the saying like eat the frog first is like do the hard thing first. I'm believing a conversation that may or may not happen is going to be hard. So I'm choosing not to eat the frog. And as soon as I've been doing that, it cuts that thought off, just like you were talking about in the episode, rewiring your brain, and it stops it. So it doesn't keep strengthening that pathway that it's been going down for so long. And I don't understand that because, again, it's not fully a belief as much as I'm guessing it's rooted in rejection or something, so weakening that rejection pathway.
Yes,
But
yes.
man, I'm not eating that frog and snip and then start building a new one. And that's all that I've been doing. And I've had more peace because
Mhm.
I'm not entertaining that. If I'm not mindful though, I will entertain it because it's just a conversation in my head, right? It's not a lie. It's just a combo that's torturing me and like stealing my joy. It's
Yeah,
taking up all of my time that I could be receiving from God, right? Or just being in peace with the Lord.
this
So
totally
I
brings us back to our conversation we had before we started recording today, and I
mm,
talked about a situation where I just basically had to
Yeah.
surrender to God and be like, "I'm not responsible for this.
Correct.
I can't control what other people are doing or choosing to do or how they're communicating with me. I don't need to fix it."
Yeah.
And that's how, like, my brain will spin out of control, like we talked about before we started recording. Like, I would be like, "Well, how am I gonna fix it? And who's telling what? And how do
Yeah.
I know?" And I'm not responsible for that.
Yes, when you shared that, I'm like, "That's it, Nikki. You're not what is our responsibility?" And then what I said in response to what you said was like, with Christ, our responsibility actually shrinks so much and it becomes so much more simple,
Yes.
but we have to choose to believe that just like what the whole episode was about. Like, it's a choice to catch it, challenge it, change.
J
The change is a big part of the choice
Mhm.
because you get better at catching.
Yes.
You get better being like, this is my story. Oh, that's rejection talking. Well, now what am I going to do about it?
Yes. Yes. I was gonna say the same thing you said, Hope. Like, if you're just a good catcher right now, take the next step. Start challenging it.
Well, that's so good because we can get stuck in one of the three spots. And it's good that you've started, but
Yes.
you got to move forward. Ooh, that'll preach. That's great. And I just picture a wonderful, like, baseball catcher, behind the batter and all day. They're sitting there like, "I can't do left field, but I'll be here all day." It's like, "Nah, go. Go try a new position."
Yeah. And get excited about it.
Yeah, gosh, and that's a journey, but it's true. Get excited. We talk about all the time building your history with the Lord and, like, going back to even what you said about how this feels like a lot, but it's because sometimes if you're hearing the teaching, you haven't experienced the freedom. Once you start experiencing the freedom, you've got to pocket those in your pocket, then in your heart, because he doesn't fail.
That's right.
He doesn't mislead or guide. He doesn't trick. That one just talked. That's interesting. That one spoke to me. He's transparent and honest and for you. He is heaven's hype squad. He is it. He's so happy for you. And that's so good.
When I used to teach this in person a lot, I would be like, sometimes we think something is the absolute truth, and that's why we've been thinking it
Yeah.
over and over and over again. And sometimes when you're challenging it and asking God, be like, where is, like, if you were with a jury in a courtroom, like, what evidence
Hmm.
would they have to prove that what you're thinking is spot on? And when I used to start challenging like that, I'm just like, it was just my thoughts. I had no circumstantial evidence. I had no concrete thing that I did to myself or another person that helped prove the nonsense that I was believing.
But it just shows how real our thoughts are and how they create reality for us. That's so powerful. And it's exciting and it's freeing. And I have no doubt that whoever's listening to this on the podcast or even choosing to join the course, there's freedom attached to it, even if it's your first step into freedom. And then you hold on to that. I know that that's the future. I know it.
Right. And that's why I'm excited about the course when we get to have our weekly
Uh,
sessions
yeah.
online where we can unpack this with other people. Because Hope and I
Yeah.
love to unpack things together, and it's just really helpful, and it helps cement things, and Hope's a verbal processor, so it really helps her put the
Really.
pieces together. And we love helping people through their journey too.
Yeah. There's no coincidence that the Lord has brought us together because we teach differently, speak differently, process differently, and that's exactly what makes being together so powerful. Just the two of us, then you add other people in, right? Like just richness on richness. It's so good. I can't wait.